Fans, the New York Racing Association thanks you for joining us for Kids Day at Saratoga Racecourse. Enjoy a multitude of free family activities at the Family Zone from now until 4 p.m., including a free Saratoga headband for the first 5,000 kids 12 and under. This will start at 12 noon. The Family Zone is located in the backyard inside Gate A, and our youngest fans will also have an opportunity to enjoy free pony rides from noon till 4 p.m., courtesy of One Trick Pony. The pony rides are available in the backyard near the festival tent. We thank all of our fans and many families for spending your Sunday afternoon at historic Saratoga Racecourse on Kids Day.
Everyone, and welcome to day 14 Talking Horses. Maggie Wolfendale and Andy Sterling. It is Kids Day here, and occasionally we have to get some rain. We've been on a very good run. We'd had 9 straight days without any off the turf or interruptions. Next week looks great, but we needed the rain.
Yes.
So I would have heard it came in around 6:27 today.
Right, exactly. I know. Unfortunate. We still have the stake on the turf, so hopefully, and I think it's done, right?
Let's hope.
Yeah,
Let's
I think
hope.
it is.
It's Saratoga.
If the weather
but let's hope.
men are right.
It's nice, kind of nice out today, but anyway, hope the kids enjoy today, and hopefully things will clear up. They're supposed to clear up, actually, as we go on. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday and talk about Sovereignty, and what were your thoughts about the race?
He was so sharp, right? He broke right there with Moplex, sat off of him, and then it was like Junior was like, you know what, I know I'm on the best horse. So then he just allowed Baeza to make that somewhat preemptive move, and you can't blame Hector Barrios. Of course, you need to do that if you're going to try to beat Sovereignty.
Very well.
He pushed the button and there he goes. And, you know, I have always thought that the longer the better for Sovereignty. And so cutting back to a mile and an eighth, you know, he's still good. It doesn't matter. But I still think he's better with more ground.
Yeah, I think it's very reasonable to assume he can run a faster race. Figs aren't out for the race, probably similar to his number in the Derby, which is pretty strong when you look at it. Baeza ran very, very well yesterday, and I think lost in the shuffle is how well he ran. And it was a city block back to the other horses, which is usually a sign that it was a pretty good race. And it was cool to see him here. He's a neat horse, looking for the Travers as well. I have a question. Do you think, because he only won by about a length yesterday, do you think that encourages more people to maybe consider taking a shot against him?
Well, we can hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want a big field. You want challengers for the Travers, but and two, I think that kind of showed too that it was probably more of a prep. I don't think they really turned the screws on him, and they probably got what they wanted out of this Jim Dandy. So I hope people come for the Travers to try to take him on, but he's still the best in the land, I'd say.
He is. No,
and I think journalism staying home in California,
I would
rightfully
guess he does. I don't
so.
blame him, yeah.
He's made several trips across country, so, you know.
I think Magnitude is a very, very interesting horse for the Travers. Now, obviously, and I'm sure Steve would not disagree, he's got to show he can do it on a biggest stage. But the one thing that Sovereignty hasn't faced, now we don't know for sure, but he's running big figures. He has not faced a quality speed 3-year-old in these races.
This is also true.
And so I'm sort of curious to see what he does. And I think we both have so much respect for Steve getting these horses ready for big races. I'm looking forward to see what he does. I'm not saying I think he's going to beat him, but I think he presents a challenge that Sovereignty hasn't really dealt with this year.
Yes, I could not agree more, and hopefully he remains healthy and on track for the Travers, because I think going in now with the lack of journalism, that he is the main danger to Sovereignty.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do against a solid more field.
Horse.
I mean, listen, it's not like the field was bad in the Risen Star and he made them all look bad. He's an interesting horse. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code SPA200. We'll match you with $200 of your initial deposit. We have a 30% bonus on a pick 3 here at Monmouth. You get up to $20 on that. Log in, opt in for that. I've already done that. We have the cross country pick 5. Involves a couple races at Monmouth, as well as 3 races here, including the Glens Falls. You know, the Glens Falls is the first place I ever saw the Grateful Dead. It's a very important piece of information.
I still have yet to make it there. I want to do a dark day up in Glens Falls. Looks like there's some good places
There
to
are good
eat.
restaurants. Yeah. Sean always raves about it. Ask Sean about him. He raves about the restaurants up there. John Panagot also. Based in New York Pavilion every Thursday through Sundays near Gate A and the Family Zone. And, of course, the Family Zone, big part of today's action as well, as it is Kids Day here at Saratoga from 11 to 5. Lots of stuff going on. Grace is out there. She's studying very hard, apparently. She's doing a Prattle with you. Is that true?
That is true for race number 3.
Are you going to correct? Are you going to have trouble not correcting her? Or are you going to be sitting back and like
putting a tongue tie on myself? Yeah, no.
They may have to restrain you during that.
Right. No, she is well rehearsed. She already recorded the scene set for our show today. Lafitte very sweetly allowed her to take that duty on. And,
really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
cool.
She and now she's socializing out there. So
she
that's
is
typical Grace.
Yes. Well, she is your daughter. A lot of fun for Kids Day. A lot of good stuff going on with that as the day progresses. We have, what do we have? 1 to 2 on FS2, 2 to 3 in FS1, 3 to 6:30 in FS2. What could go wrong there? Sure, that'll work fluidly. Anyhow, get your remote in your hand. Race number 1. Let's take a look at Colonial Rose's last race, who I have on top. I have not seen your picks.
I reluctantly put her on top because she's getting the same track that she did here.
I agree. I also think
at
she's
least at Saratoga.
Going to be more forward in this race than she was last
too.
time. And the problem I had, and I don't want to just jump on these horses, she's going to be a short price, but I mean, we've talked a lot about, well, the dirt horses have been running here from Churchill.
Absolutely.
But it's like, who was I going to pick if I didn't pick her? And I think that's what you alluded to saying that you picked her in this race, because I don't really love Whistler's style, and I just didn't want anybody else in here.
I nearly went to Coquito because I thought she could be this beat of the speed in here. But I just thought, given the fact that we have a wet track again, because I wanted to kind of be against her because it felt like, well, she ran a big figure her first time on a wet racetrack, but she gets it here again. And like you said, I mean, Norm Cassie has brought these kind of claiming, even though this is starter allowance, but these claiming types here to Saratoga, I feel like with a purpose, and they're running well and responding.
And he's not running in a claiming race. She's running in a starter allowance.
Exactly.
And, you've got the 5 Our Liberty Bell second. There's 2 problems I have with this horse. This horse is going to take a lot of money with IRAT, and she can certainly win this race, but that is a barn that's going to win a race up here this summer before I jump onto the bandwagon.
I just thought getting more ground is beneficial to her. I did not like her whatsoever at 6 furlongs. That I know she was a short price and somewhat disappointing that day, but you could tell she was just kind of run off her feet. In that
her race 2 back was very good. Her race 2 back would make her a major player in this race. There's no doubt about it. I've got Whistler Style second for Linda Rice, and Linda's just continuing to fire on all cylinders. Nice win by Film Star, he was a crazy price at 6 to 1. He should have been the clear second choice.
On Arthur's ride like that, because he hadn't been working very well whatsoever.
Well, that's why we all picked against him in there and stuff. But the public's going to see. He won the Whitney last year, and horses like that are always going to be short prices. Race number 2. Boy, I wanted to pick Santa God in here. I really did, but I could not. And you and I have both picked this horse, Backstretch Rose. I'm going back to January 31st because I like to visit the winter meet here.
Oh my gosh, you almost said the inner
I know.
drive.
And I
Shed
don't
a
know. I looked up TT. Did you look this stat up? I looked up
no, I didn't.
60 to 180 day layoffs on dirt routes. He's 8 for 19 with a 342 ROI.
Oh,
So
wow.
2 to 6 month layoffs in
Strong.
dirt routes. Right. I was stunned by that number,
And you know,
to be
the
honest.
overall kind of theme of this race as we go the 9 furlongs is that nobody really has any proven form at the distance. I know she doesn't necessarily, but when you look at her body of work, you feel the most confident in taking her. I thought at this distance with the class relief, it just made her irresistible to me because, you know, the other horses you wanted to try to take, they just don't have that proven form going longer. Like, I thought about taking 5 to 2. We both have her second.
She was awful last time.
She was awful. She was bad in the gate. I thought she was coming off of a layoff, so sometimes they're a little too fresh, a little too antsy.
Dropped and just,
right.
I mean, listen,
but
with
she was
Linda,
reclaimed by Linda.
Yeah, they could run better. She could certainly run better than that. But man, she was bad in that race.
She did not get away well, and she was well back. She tried to move closer in the turn, but I thought maybe she kind of made that move a little too early, considering the top two did come from last and second to last.
It is fair, and it's not exactly a bunch that's done that well at 1 1/8. And with the number 6 backstretch Rose, you have a horse that has done well at the distance, and it's sort of foreign territory for a lot of these horses.
Exactly.
You know, I even thought about my friend Dolce Sarah, but I couldn't do it. She just doesn't win.
I did think Florida Flower was a little bit against the track in her last start
Fair.
and still kind of ran well. I didn't like the fact she never switched leads. And like you said, I mean,
It's a big
we'll see how
rider
this-
change, too, to Irad. I
Correct.
mean, come on.
And I hope Wayne wins a race, but, you know.
I'm not trying to pick on them. He's just, they're
no.
struggling. And I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's one of the
And I
things in
think
Saratoga. You got to
it's
be
tough.
careful with the barns. Things aren't going well. It's just like
Yeah.
anybody. When things aren't going well, they just continue to not go well until they turn around. And they will turn around at some point.
Yep, I'm living that right now.
Right, exactly. Well, you know, I'm so frustrated by, I'm sure it's just, I talked to Tom a little bit about it, the maiden that you and I like, the bourbon for Toby. You know, and I was unfair to Kendrick, and I think I was unfair to Flavian, too, because that horse just has trouble getting out of the gate, and it keeps costing him his position.
I know, but I know. It's kind of like they expect him to break well, and then when he doesn't break well, I felt like both of them have been like, oh my God, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I think you'd be better off just trying to go forward and tucking in, and each time he's just been caught wide.
Yep.
And I want him to have an inside trip at some point.
No, he ran terrific the other day. And
I
he ran
love
very
him.
well the race before it. He's too good a horse to still be a maiden. He's running against
know.
some pretty good maidens. Race number 3 is off the turf. It's 7 furlongs, by the way. It's a change we made this year.
Yeah.
A change that was overdue. The 2-year-old
Yep.
races at a mile and 1/16. The 2-year-old races will go to
Well,
7
that's not
furlongs.
what used to be before we had the shoot.
Well, right, but we put
Yeah.
the chute in, and we automatically did like everything else. And I remember talking about it last year with a lot of people and saying, why are we asking 2-year-olds to go to mile? We're not even asking them to go 6.5 furlongs yet. We're letting them go
right.
a mile.
And it just turns into a struggle
and
fest when
even
you
the
do
ones
that.
that want more distance, they don't want more distance in their first or second start going a
No,
mile
it's a
in
building.
July. I mean, Tappett's Legacy. Johnny is riding Tappett's Legacy. You have the horse second. I'll show the 2-year-old sales work. I thought this was a pretty nice work.
Yeah, it was. And look, we're going the 7 furlongs. My problem is watching his latest breeze, or his breeze 2 back, which you can catch on First TV. He broke well on the inside of Franklin Delano, who I believe is more of a turf horse, and was very disappointing in his debut in a scheduled dirt race up here at the Spa. And he did work better than that horse, but I just question, the company that he kept, and he looks enormous. So, like I said, 7 furlongs he could probably win, but eventually this horse is definitely going to want longer.
That's very fair. Visible probably wants longer as well. The horse that you have on top and I have second, half the law professor. And it's interesting. This horse is 3 for 3. The dam is on turf, but she's probably a better producer with dirt horses.
Yes, I would agree. As you mentioned, law professor. And I just thought, City of Light handles this type of going, inflects a little bit more of a sprint into this horse. And I know down on the rail, not great, but it feels like Danny Gargan does have his 2-year-olds ready to go.
I agree.
Up here, especially.
No, I agree. Chalky White, who you left out, I have third.
I didn't know what to
I don't
do.
know if this horse is really very good, but
I just didn't like him in the paddock each time I saw him.
okay. I mean, I just thought he also could just run off the lead in this race.
Absolutely.
And that makes
That's
him
scary.
more dangerous to me. And I think because Todd's going to take a lot of money, and I imagine that Visible, by the way, that was some filly that Todd debuted yesterday. The figs weren't out yet, but was she good. I mean, that track was not, she went faster. Well, your 2-year-old's been on fire, except I bet one of them, you're like 7 for 8 or something, and I buried you in one of them. She went faster than the older New York breds went in the subsequent race, the males, and I'm not. Those are 80 plus buyer horses.
She's
good.
She didn't even break that well, and then she got into position, and once she got out in the clear while 3 wide, she went, and it was like Johnny was on like this motorbike, and they.
I agree. You saw her make that move roughly a quarter mile into the race, and I went. She's about to win. Yeah, I missed that. I missed the email on that horse. She is, and I don't think the second horse that bad. You liked a little bit, but
John Ortiz's
and she just
horse.
destroyed her.
Yeah.
I mean, no, she's and that field was completely spread out too. And
they
that doesn't.
were.
I mean, she's
She
the
looks
early
it,
right now. She's the favorite for the spinaway. That horse, she's
Absolutely.
good. Yeah, no, she was.
Yep, and she'll
very
love every bit
impressive
of the
yesterday.
7 furlongs as well.
Yeah, very, very impressive yesterday. So I mean, at this point. Is it well? I guess we saw Obliteration and Ewing, but she's the most impressive filly we've seen, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was good.
I agree.
Looking forward to seeing her run down the road. She's probably the favorite right now for the Breeders' Cup, though it's early. Along with Brandt, who ran a 101 buyer, nice horse name for Peter Brandt, won a 101 buyer yesterday at Del Mar. Go 102 for Nisos.
Are we going to talk any?
We can talk about anything you want.
Are we still in race 3?
We can do whatever you want. You go back to race 2 if you want. I couldn't care less.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
No, just real quick.
Take your time.
So Royal Guard, I thought it was interesting they kept him in. I watched his breeze 2 back at Churchill. He's quite slow out of the gate. It took a while to switch leads. He leveled off then, but then in a typical kind of more turf meant horse, once he came off the bridle, he struggled a bit in that workout. So I thought it was weird they kept him in. Instant Impact. They're on the slower side. Granted, they're over on the Oklahoma, which generally is slower.
So
What?
I love Upstart. Yeah.
A. B, the Dans have to take charge Paula, who is a great stakes winner on sprinting on the dirt, and I liked his workout. So
I wondered more with Royal Guard too, if maybe Brad just thought this probably horse needs a race anyway, and get a race into them, whether it's turf or dirt. And if the Essential Qualities had any success so far,
not really.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Which is odd because he was a good 2-year-old.
He was, but. They're probably horses that want to go longer, so I'm not sure
100%.
how precocious you can really expect those horses to be. I thought race 4 was a bit of an interesting race.
It's complicated.
Yeah,
I struggled mightily with it.
I thought this was interesting. We'll take a look at Just Licorice, the 6 horse. So you've got 4th, and I have Nowhere. I know he's coming off a win, and it just feels a little like coming off the win and all those things. He is such a last time was the time. He could win again. But he was a ridiculous 9-1 in this race.
As an MTO.
It was just, they got caught up on horses. They went crazy for the horse that never wins. And I mean, this was,
Well, that's the problem. He's beating Refua in here, okay?
Well, he's beating my horse, by the way. You owe me an apology. You said my horse had no chance. It was the only time you've ever knocked one of my horses, and the horse actually ran well.
Probably one of the only times I've ever knocked a Dave Duggan horse as well, too. No. I just didn't think he...
I don't... I'm just teasing. I couldn't care less.
No, I know you don't.
I don't want him either. You've got Art Fair, and I'll say one thing about Art Fair.
Speed of the speed.
Yeah.
Speed.
I think he is too. The pace projector has the pace hot. We'll see if that happens. But isn't Georgia Magic supposed to go in here? He finally actually ran okay for Ray last time.
He did.
No derbies, Ray. So he's Oklahoma.
Okay. And against the track as well. He had a sharp steady, too, about 1/8 of a mile out of the gate, which obviously put him in a worse position. And running down on the inside, he never particularly looked comfortable. He's a horse that I think has some talent, but mentally just struggles. And I feel like he's one that is going to take a long time before we really see the best of him.
And the problem is there's no sneaky horses with IRAD. They're all going to get bet. They're also going to get good rides, but they're all going to get bet. And if you like a horse with him, I just don't trust him. I'm going to bet Best Friend Rocket here. I'm just committed to this horse. I think it's obviously I was friendly with Wayne, and we all miss Wayne. And sorry he's gone, but he leaves a lasting impact. This horse was thrown in against just bears. I mean, we saw Sandy ran here the other day in the Curlin, almost winning the race, and Crudo and Sandman. I mean, he's got some fast races. He goes to Riley, and I just here he is in this race at Oaklawn back in March, and
Which I thought was very
I
impressive,
got to
by
bet
the
this
way.
horse today. I'm going to give him a chance against this field to finally find a field he has a chance against.
I agree with you. You know,
Gets Junior.
He's the only reason I didn't, and it could just be the quality of the race that he comes out of. I thought he was really bad.
He was bad
In that last
He was.
race, and relatively a month. How long is Riley? Probably
Oh,
3
he probably had him for
weeks,
2 weeks,
2
right?
weeks. So I agree with you. It's a much easier spot. But where does he sit now? We could, the blue moon might come out, and we could see a fast pace materialize, and I think it would set up beautifully for him. But
I don't think he's that slow. I don't think
Okay.
he has
He's
speed,
probably
but I
not,
don't
but
think
he
he's
is cutting
that
back.
slow. I agree. I don't know. We'll see how the track is playing as well. I mean, there's this assumption when the track gets sloppy that you've got a speed track, and that's often not the case whatsoever.
Yeah.
We've had, I mean, going through doing these biases for me has been extremely easy lately because
Yes.
it's been, I think, I didn't do yesterday's yet, but I actually went out and had a couple drinks last night, and instead of just, rushing home to handicap and had a little fun, so I'm a little behind.
I was gonna say, how did you feel this morning?
Fine.
I can't.
I
do
mean, I
it
didn't
anymore,
have
man.
20 drinks. I'm not.
I only had like 4 the other night, and I was struggling.
No,
anyway.
you're not as tough as I am, Mag.
You
Let's
know.
face it. You're not as battle hardened as
I
I
was
am.
gonna say I'm not as well conditioned. Maybe.
No, I was out with the guys for dinner, and then I ran into John, and we had a good time. Talked to a
I'm
bunch of different
happy
people. It was
for
not,
you.
yeah, but it's once again, you get up. I did, but it's so I didn't get them done, but it's been one fair. The turf courses and dirt courses playing fairly, and we like to see that.
Yeah.
Race number 5 off the turf.
This is a woofie.
The biggest upset in here, I don't think we need to take too much time on this race. We'll show Mozambique's race from Breeders' Cup weekend when he finished second. I know it's sloppy again last time. I'm not going to equate it. I'm not going to say because he didn't seem to handle it last time. He got run off his feet by a horse that ran like a stakes horse winning that race. And, I mean, who
Yeah.
else are you supposed to take here, Mag?
And I honestly, based upon my paddock notes, I love the fact that he gets a little bit more ground to work with today. And I totally agree with you. There is not much for him to go on. And he just has the most upside with the drop, with Linda on his side. And there's nobody else. Literally.
I'm not trying to. I've always liked this horse. I'm not trying to play against this horse, and he's going to likely win this race at a very, very short price. The jockeys, by the way, I think Jose Lescano's riding this horse. Manny is riding 9 and 4 in here.
Yes.
Anything else? I'm going to
Wait,
move on.
who's riding the 9?
The 9, Lescano.
Oh, got it.
I
Okay.
believe I can barely read my own handwriting, but I believe Jose is riding this horse.
I bet you're right about Manny.
And of course, Dylan's on Mozambique. We will take a break. We'll be back with the late pick 5.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
As we come back to talking horses, this might be the first time, it might be, I'm not saying absolutely is, that I have not been the least mature person on this set, as Grace is joining us.
I was going to say, that would be me probably being the least.
You ready? Grace is going to be doing you're doing the paddock report. We'll give you a little mic help
Yeah.
over here.
Here.
Y-
You're doing which race?
Race number 3.
We excited for
Excellent.
Grace's paddock report? You excited?
Yes.
Okay, you ready for it? Do you think by next summer you'll be ready to take over for your mom?
Yes.
Okay. You heard it here first. Breaking news on Talking Horses. Grace, thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us. Hang
High
out as
five.
much as you want. Appreciate it. We'll see you later. All right, race number 6.
Keeping
Maggie
it
will be out of work next summer, by the way, in case anybody needs a nanny.
She'll be more than happy.
Race number 6. I am trying to keep it real. We'll show
Wow,
finishing
all right.
second. Well, I got an idea here.
Okay, I
And
love
it's
to
not
hear
just
it.
because I like Maggie Seidman on Twitter, but I do like Maggie. She's great. Listen, keep it real is way the horse to beat. Way the horse to beat. I know it's sloppy again, and this is last October. But in that race, I watched Solo Jim. First of all, he was only 8-1 in that race.
That's
He
what
could
is
have been
most intriguing.
48-1 in that
I
race, and you wouldn't have been
100% agree.
surprised. And you watch him in there, and he was a bit awkward coming out. He kind of dropped back a little bit, but I thought he did a little bit of running later. He was awfully green in there. And listen, how would I bet this race? I bet him to win and bet an equal amount in a 2-3 exacta. I'm not an idiot. Well, I am an idiot sometimes, but I got to give this guy one more shot.
I totally understand, but the problem for me was actually watching his breeze, where he was breezing with those blinkers on. He was by himself, and maybe it was a lack of focus type of thing, but he didn't want to switch leads. He just didn't. It just didn't look like he moved forward, at least for having a race, based upon that one workout. And I'm not around him. He very well could have, and it was just a bad morning for him. I totally get
it's a
what
shot
you're
for me.
saying,
I'm
and I
not.
looked long and hard at him, and also the fact it's a sloppy track again. I think I would have moved him up a little bit if it was a dry.
I agree. I would prefer dry, but I'm
Right.
just, my thinking partly also was his first start, and he was
smoke?
figuring out what to
Are
do.
there smoke?
I have a
There's
question.
fire.
David's got long pour
At 5-1.
5-1. So is there a story or something with this horse?
I didn't see it because he
The
has
half
the
the Lady
worst
Arwen?
pedigree. If you compare the other first-time starters to him, he has the least sexy pedigree of the three.
I'm wondering if there's workouts or something because I
I
think David might have
watched
even
it.
picked this horse, Aragon.
I watched his workout. I didn't see anything stunning.
I
Other
put
than
him
Rusty
third
Arnold feels as though-
because he seemed to, when I saw the line and he picked him, I thought he might be onto something. And after these, the 2 and 3, I didn't care that much about the race. You've got in on it second for Lisa Lukovic, who's been very sneaky this year.
Yeah, I know that race he ran in last time was dreadful. He was a little bit
Good two
against.
back.
Exactly. He was a little bit against the track. He does get Lasix finally, and there's races for him to kind of go back on. And I just thought because of the lower profile connections, I could, if I'm going to take keeping it real on top, I wanted a price second. And that's why I thought in on it could be worth
enough.
that.
Charlie's got Charlie Baker, 2 horses, and while I put Game Bred fourth, I thought the horse did a little bit of running last time.
In a
It
tough
was
race.
interesting that Joel opts off this horse, and he's riding the first-time starter, and I
Crescendo's
imagine that's why you. And also, this horse has pedigree. I have to sacrosanct.
Massive pedigree.
and not this time is,
plus
like,
he's a not this
unbelievable.
time. I mean, right. It's taken a while for him to get to the races as a 4-year-old. But like you said, sacrosanct, you go back the second dam, Cuff Me. She was a multiple stakes winning New York bred, even won against Open Company too. There's some fast workouts. And because Joelle landed on this one, it always feels as though if Charlie can get Joelle, you want the one that he's on.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing with that one as well.
Spiteful
and
Storm
put it in
has
there.
pedigree too. I mean, look at this family.
Especially for a wet track.
She's a 3/4 to Make Mischief who loved it.
Yep.
Spiteful Lily as well for these same connections.
Had that
and
95 buyer in her debut in the slop.
Exactly. And I have to Jody's song, of course, the dam of Jody's Pride.
Yeah, no. There's so much pedigree, dirt, turf in there. Yeah, no, I agree. That horse could be dangerous.
And watching her last breeze, too, or his last breeze, he was with Older on the Hill, an accomplished type of runner. Looks huge. And I thought worked quite nicely with him.
All right, I agree. That horse is definitely worth mentioning. There's a lot of pedigree and wet track. The Glens Falls is on the turf, so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
And I thought it came up a really good race, so I'm
Yeah.
glad we still get to run it. We'll take a look at the race that La Mejana won last time, and I've always liked her. She's been disappointing in some starts. She was really good in this race last time.
100%.
Everything okay, Eddie? Did you fall asleep? We boring you over here? Only I'm boring you. Maggie's keeping you. Grace and Maggie are keeping you interested. I mean, I'm not against her. I just want to pick another horse. I thought she ran super last time.
She really did. I mean, because
Crushed.
overall, the pace kind of held together.
Yeah.
She did have a nice inside trip for most of the way.
But she was in a different race than everybody
accelerated.
else. She just
Yeah,
flew
I mean,
by
look
'em.
at her blowing by here. She was good. You know that she can, I think, handle some give in the ground over. Oh, actually, you don't know that. She's never been on a horse labeled other than her French.
Well,
form.
in a Group 1, she finished third on good to soft.
Exactly.
So that's
I think we're
probably
okay
a pretty
here.
good sign. I don't know much. But
Yeah, I think we're okay here. And look, I went the Clement Exacta here.
We'll take a look at Belez's
Beleza.
her win two back in the Sheepshead Bay. She was just
Both?
over her head last time and still ran okay.
I was just gonna say she didn't even run that badly.
No, I agree.
The only reason, honestly, that I put her over La Mejana is I've just preferred her physically in the
Okay.
paddock, and I think they both. She projects to maybe sit a little bit closer to the pace,
Fair.
which isn't a bad thing. She did an ideal trip here overall, but I think she's probably pretty good.
I don't disagree. I'm trying to beat both these horses, but I'm not knocking them. I was very disappointed in no-show Sammy Joe last time. I know she still ran fine, but she
She looked like she had a walk in the park.
She
and
did.
and
Yeah.
she was just like,
She has not run back to that Long Island. She ran
Right.
super in the Long Island, and she has not run back to that race. I'm sure
now
it's frustrating
Graham
for
has
Graham.
said that he's not sure she wants to be on the lead, so that looks good for the horse that you picked on top long ago, who projects
not
to
going
be
today.
the main speed.
That's why I picked her, and we'll take a look at her race last time in the Anchorage, the prestigious Anchorage.
Yeah, well,
Churchill would. They should maybe come up with a couple more stakes to conflict with our races going forward. This is a pretty good field she was in. And I know In Time took advantage of the bias when she won her next start, and that's the race she was in two back. But you know me and Bill Morey. I mean, I'm still kicking myself for not picking Tour d'Or when she wired the field against that Tour Jeté. You know, I'm still mad. I couldn't resist Lone Speed for Bill in this race, and she's pretty
get
good.
you. I got it. She is pretty good. You know, I want to see it. And that's the thing is I say I want to see it against better, but she did run against some pretty good horses last time. Are we sure she truly wants to go this far?
Well, she ran at a mile and 3/8 for Brendan, two
Yeah.
back, so I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I didn't see this horse. I would have bet her last time. I would have, as you know, I'm going to bet Bill Morey off the claim on turf. Now, he's done well at Naira, but I'm going to bet him. See what happens to Glens Falls, a fun race.
Interesting, yeah.
Looking forward to it, as they're all pointing, I'm sure, towards the Flower Bowl later in the meet, and then hopefully the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. I have a question for you. What do you think about the distance of the Filly and Mare Turf? The fact it's a mile and 3/8, yet we don't have prestigious mile and 3/8 race. To me,
don't.
my problem with it
It's
is
for the Europeans.
I know, but
Yeah.
I love the Europeans, as you know. I love seeing the good horses come, but I don't think the Breeders' Cup should make a race in America that is advantageous to the Europeans, because the big races on the turf here for the fillies and mares, and there are a lot of them. They're a mile to a mile and 3/16.
Yeah.
It should be a mile and an eighth. The Europeans can win
I
a mile
agree.
and an eighth. I don't think
I do agree
Innsbruck
with
would have
you
had
there.
a problem with
Oh
a
my
mile
gosh,
and
you
an
would've probably
eighth.
preferred
Been
it.
better, right? So I really don't like the idea that they're clearly pandering to the Europeans. We want to welcome them. You want them to come, but I don't think they should be doing it at the expense of U.S. Is that fair? And it's not. This
think
is
that's
not like
fair.
some go-go America thing. It's just I think the Breeders'
Maybe,
Cup isn't.
but-
I mean,
but
they want it
also-
to be European, but it's also an American event.
Maybe they wanted a little bit of more separation between the Breeders' Cup Mile.
Because all those fillies are going in the Breeders' Cup Mile. I mean, if they were,
several have won it. Like,
but I know, but for the most part, I think Olikova would have run the mile race regardless, because she would have, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? The ones that have won it, for the most part, have been very, very good horses.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it, I was lucky enough to see Sonic Lady a couple of times, and I'm sorry, Miesk. Well, Sonic Lady's the horse. I mean, Miesk was, I think Miesk one of the best.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think she might be, she's up there with the best.
Yeah.
But I agree with the argument that it's too long at a mile and 3/8. This is my opinion. Race number 8 off the turf. And it's important to note that Speed of Sound is in here. I don't, like you, guys, my picks are 12, 5, 10, 7 here. I think I sent them in, but I did send them in later, so maybe you
Yeah.
guys missed it. I'm
Oh, yeah,
12,
he
5,
does.
10, 7.
have fun.
We'll show Speed of Sounds. You can fix them while we're showing the race. I don't want to take this horse, who's going to be a short price, my guess, that was entered on synthetic and did win, then entered on the turf, and now running on the dirt.
Right.
So it feels
Off
like
of
they're
a
going to the
year-plus
surface they
layoff.
least wanted. We having a problem with this video, Eddie? Everything okay? Good. Wake up, will you? You're not on the tarmac anymore. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want him on the surface they least wanted to run on.
Right. No, I agree. And she's probably going to take
A lot of money.
money because it's George Weaver, and they like, ones, and there's only one, and I don't know. Look, it's the right spot,
Yes,
for the 35, and she would have been very dangerous on the turf, but agreed. I don't necessarily want her. And she does have speed, so that's a good thing, whereas several of these other horses that are more turf horses are having to turn back, so she has that advantage over them.
No, I agree. I think she's dangerous. We both, however, picked Ragtime Sizzle. We'll take a look at her winning two back. And I didn't love her either. Obviously, they were a little overambitious off the claim. It's still an excellent Rice, who ran badly last time. Very good win on the horse who I think ran fourth, right? Lisa's horse.
Yeah.
That won here the other day. That horse ran giant.
Huge.
And is giant.
Yeah.
By that, he's a big horse,
She's
huh?
big.
Yeah, she's
She's
big. You
big.
can really see it.
Yeah. Circuit court. There
Yeah.
we go. Yeah. So I'm a little concerned about the 5.5 with Ragtime Sizzle, because I thought she was completely out sprinted going the 7 last time out, which didn't put her in a great position. But on the flip side of that, the winner came from last. So it's not like she was not necessarily against the flow of the race, and she just was bad.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
But this is a logical-ish.
It's a logical spot.
Yeah.
She's probably the horse to beat in here. And I think with Speed of Sound, maybe we'll get a better price in here. You know what horse a little interesting to me is the horse you have second, River Tay. Her dirt races are not that bad.
No. And that I thought she ran, considering it was off a long layoff, April 7th, 2024, I thought she ran pretty well against some, really decent, proven dirt horses, and then backed it up, obviously off the turf, and ran fine. So I don't mind the turn back with her. I've always thought that physically she looks like a horse that maybe shorter is a bit better. We'll see how she does.
Yeah, no, I think she's a little interesting in here,
and
much
she'll
like you
be
do.
a decent price.
As a spun size, she's certainly not. She's far from
No,
impossible.
right,
Picking up
MTOs.
Joelle Rosario.
Exactly.
Will be riding her. Dylan Davis is on Ragtime Sizzle, as Manny is riding Speed of Sound, and that was his first call. People wondering about that, because it came up on Twitter the other day, when you see a jockey named on two horses, and a horse, either an MTO gets in and the other one's in, or a horse gets in off the also eligible as an MTO. If you go to the overnight, and you know this obviously, but you go to the overnight, you can see which is the 1 and 2. I mean, it's listed which their first preference is, and it's not that hard. Just go to the Equibase page with the overnights and check it out. It's a good way to know if you're wondering who they're going to ride. Race number 9. I'm looking forward to this race.
Okay.
Let's start with your horse, Warrior Richard. Who is the horse to beat? I have this is, I think, the second place finish last time, but I have nothing against this horse at all.
I mean, he's been in some pretty live groups where they
His
have
lack of
come-
speed bothers me. I'm sorry. That's the only thing. I apologize. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I thought there was some speed towards the inside to at least ensure a little bit of honesty up front. I know that, honestly, he's gotten better with more ground. But looking at him, I thought he was okay getting back to this mile. I have written in my notes several times, would like less ground.
I'm not fighting Joe Sharp either.
And I'm
I mean,
not
this horse
fighting
is
Joe Sharp.
But to be fair to Joe,
he's faced next time out winners in both of his last.
what Joe has done is had logical horses, and they've all delivered. Now, this horse is logical, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
don't think he's doing
following
anything.
The same recipe
He's not
here.
doing anything out there that you're going, wow, I can't believe how his horses are running.
No,
I think
they're very
just running
logical.
well. They're just,
Yeah.
they're holding their form.
Yep. I really, I looked long and hard. I tried to come up with something clever, but it's just not that. Now,
Well,
look,
I'm trying to be
the
clever.
horse-
I may end up just being an idiot, but
capital idea.
I've always liked this horse. I always thought this horse had ability, and I know he didn't really put it together, but I've always liked this horse.
Well, on what
He's a
tracks?
private purchase. I don't know what they paid for him. He's a new gelding. I know the wet tracks, but he hasn't run
run
that
well in 'em.
badly in them.
Yeah, he's
so,
won-
and
broke his
I
age on
just,
it.
the other thing that interested me about this horse is, and maybe I'm wrong, but doesn't it feel like Pass the Hat's entered to maybe help make this race go? Because he's a little bit hard to make. Now, maybe the condition just came up. He's off for a long time, and he had actually outworked Arthur's Ride, this horse.
Well, yeah, that's.
Maybe
I
that's why
looked
he's
at
in
him
here.
because I thought he was working quite well.
Yeah, I was wondering if
have either
maybe
of them,
he's
but-
trying to get capital idea. I've just got to give this guy a chance.
I get it.
I
I get it.
I've
I'm
always had a
probably-
thing for him.
Yeah, I know.
We'll see. It's going to be a price. I mean, you have to say, though, as we take a look at Reddington, and this is 2 races back. Now, he rode an extreme bias this day.
Yeah.
But he was still pretty good. And don't you think with the, that now in this race, with the 4
Magnolia
coming
Midnight,
out,
yeah, he
it
could
just
run away with
changes
it.
his. I mean, I didn't like him at all
Nope.
with the 4 in here,
Correct.
but now I think he's held his form for a long time. This
He
guy.
really has. And it, yes, that's
I
Well,
originally
there's
didn't
to
like
it.
him, but I think you have to
Now he
acknowledge
moves
that he
up.
and Cut the Cord both move up with the 4 coming out.
correct.
And that's kind of why I put him in there for second.
Yeah, I know.
You have the 5 second, Gambler's Tale, because like me, you love John Ortiz. I still haven't gotten him home yet. But
I know.
My turf horse, by the way, ran pretty well for him in that race where the Rivoli
Huge.
horse ran so well.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
which horse?
The horse that ran 3rd. Remember when Todd and Mike's horse made that huge run from the back? The horse 2 days ago. You interviewed
Pam
Todd after
Pam.
the race.
Pan?
I don't know. I don't remember names. I don't know. The horse had run 4th.
What the Raining
horse
Flowers
that-
ran huge yesterday,
She
too.
did. She did run well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the 5. Actually, Classic Q was the one that ran huge. I didn't like her at all, and she ran
agree.
super in that race.
Yeah.
That was that was a brutal beat for her.
Yeah, she did so much dirty work.
No,
Maiden?
The horse that had run 4th to Gargan's runaway
Yes,
maiden winner, the
Pan
first.
Pan.
Is that her name?
Mhm.
She ran 3rd. I
Yeah.
thought she ran pretty well in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
All right.
just trying to take credit for a pick that ran all right. Anyway, anything to say about this horse? Grasping at straws over here.
Look, I should have changed my picks, honestly, Andy, with Magnolia. I thought Magnolia Midnight, whom I didn't like, but held,
But he was
quite
a
a
very
say.
important horse in this
Right,
race.
he was a
yeah.
very important cog in this machine, and I just thought Gambler's Tale. I wanted to side with the horses that I knew would be able to rate from off of it. And last time, the top 2 finishers, including a heavy favorite and Gun Party, ran 1-2 around the racetrack, and it was a merry-go-round race.
Yep.
So I thought maybe
Yep.
he'd get a little bit more of an honest pace. I liked the fact too, and I know he ran well going the 2 turns, but I liked him cutting back a little bit in distance.
All right, we'll see what happens in race number 9. Race number 10 held
Ooh,
together
this is-
pretty well.
yeah.
This was a really fun race of the turf.
Yeah,
I'm
we
glad
like
that it
Jose
didn't become a
horse.
disaster
It
coming
didn't.
off the turf. I was really looking forward to it. It is Pan Pan, my friend. I thought you said Pam Pam.
No, Pan.
Whatever. Anyway, horses stayed in here. Boy, I didn't expect Chad to leave them both in. I expected him to leave Iron Sight in. I did not expect him to leave Atomic Age in. I like these $100,000 maiden races too, because this is
They're
this is a
interesting.
good race, and I think the thing is, like, you want to claim them, go ahead. They're not good
Yeah.
enough to win maiden specials, but I imagine that you and I are on the same horse this race. I imagine that is Iron Sight going to be favored, or is Nance going to be favored? Nance does have IRAD.
And Nance is an MTO, but
David's got Salvation, the shorter price, interestingly enough, of the 2.
ran faster.
I know.
Yeah, but I know out of a
Well, listen,
maiden-
lost to My Matoli, who ran well. I probably was
Right.
remiss in leaving the horse out.
I don't know. Doing morning lines isn't my forte.
It's been
it's-
very, very hard this meet.
in this
He
race is
does-
nearly impossible off the turf.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm not. I'm just looking at the MTOs, and I guess his feeling
Sure.
was that horses would stay in here. I imagine that Iron Sight will take a lot of money. He lost to some pretty good horses, and he
I
ran
agree.
fast enough as a 3-year-old last
Right.
year. We'll see. I like Ennistown.
Atomic Age has a lot of pedigree. For
He
the
does. No, he
main
does.
Track.
I agree. And I'll tell you something else. He's not that good a turf horse.
No, he's not.
I picked him in here. I thought he'd run better. Chad has extremely good numbers in Saratoga off these layoffs with
didn't
turf maidens.
miss a change, did I, with him?
What's the
Because
change?
he'd been working him in blinkers, and there's no blinkers listed, but maybe he decided against
I
him.
don't know.
Anyway, yes, we both landed on Ennistown in here because isn't he supposed to be the speed from the rail? His dirt races are good enough while sprinting, especially, his first 2, comes back as a new gelding, now on Lasix, and I just thought he made so much sense in here.
Yeah, no, well, I'll tell you something else about him. There's an argument that he was on a dead rail at Pimlico for that lousy race when he
Oh,
came back
yeah.
as well. And then you look at his prior 2 races, and
Yes.
suddenly you have a horse who last year was running figures that kind of make him the horse to beat in here.
I
and
totally
he's got
agree with you
speed.
about
So
the rail at Pimlico, too. I forgot about that.
That's all right. It's all right. I got some
Yeah.
help on that, so
Thanks.
I'm not that smart. I agree. What about policy change for Todd? I didn't think this horse
I thought this
ran
horse
very
was a
well on
turf
the
horse.
turf, and
And he ran horrible on the turf.
yeah,
I don't know.
he's
I
been
mean,
live
he gets a
though
little
with
bit
these
of a
horses.
makeover.
I'll tell you what, I underestimated him this meet, and he's having a fabulous meet.
Yep.
He is.
I agree. He really is. I just, looking at this horse, I thought, he'd probably need a start, but then that's a little counterintuitive when you're dealing with Todd Pletcher. I just don't think, I think he's meant for the turf, and he's just not that good on the turf.
Elko County has had a lot of chances, but I mean, to suggest that he can't win this race is ridiculous, right?
I've developed this rule in my head. I don't want horses that come from Kenny McPeak.
Okay. Even to Mike Maker.
Yep.
They paid $70,000 for this horse just
So it's a
few days
logical
ago,
spot.
and they weren't ready to lose him cheaper. So
Right.
back in April.
Right. It's a logical spot considering they paid the $70 grand for him, and he has races 100% that make him very, very, appealing here. But
I agree. He's had a million chances.
A million
and
chances.
I'm with
He's
you on.
proven.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
This horse is listed as a new gelding. Do we really think that he ran 16 days ago, 17 days ago? They gelded him 10
Who are
days.
you talking about?
Ennis Town in my DRF is listed as a new gelding. Is he listed?
Same. No, I'm sorry. They're the worst. They're the worst. He's probably gelded in that gap.
One would assume that he's not a new gelding. I did not. Let me see our changes if they said anything.
It's just really frustrating.
They shouldn't do this.
It's honestly, I think it's an imperative change to a horse, and to not get it right
If you're not
is an
gonna,
injustice.
If you're not going to get it
to
right,
the people
do
betting.
not do it at all.
Right. And I mean,
He is a gelding. It doesn't matter, but I don't believe
But
he's
I
a new
don't think
one.
he's a first-time gelding.
Correct.
And the logical space where he probably was gelded was between October and May.
I mean, it's not impossible that he is, but I don't know, man. They got him
other
being gelded here
jurisdictions
on the
aren't
16th.
as, on top
I
of
don't
it.
believe that we should have ever started doing that, because if you don't get it 100% right, then you risk, misleading the public. And I don't think there's anything. I'd rather not have it in there than mislead people.
Yep.
And I just don't like it being in there. And Naira was always good about it. If you kept your records, it's just another thing. If you kept your records, you knew the geldings. Maggie, thank you. Grace, thank you so much for helping us on the show. Thank you for watching. Head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code SPA200. We'll match for $200 of your initial deposit. We have a 30% bonus of up to $20 on a pick 3 here or Monmouth. Opt in for that over at Naira Bets, as I have already done. We have a cross-country pick 5, 2 at Monmouth, 3 here, including the Glens Falls. We have the Taste of New York Pavilion, Thursday through Sunday, over by Gate A, the Family Zone. Check out all the wonderful things made in the state of New York. Kids Day, it's already well underway. We're going to have a lot of good fun stuff with that until 5 o'clock today. And we have a mascot race. Is this true?
Yes, this is true.
All right.
I wonder who handles the mud.
I got to tell you, the guy who wears that suit here on hot days, he really has my admiration.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we are on, you ready for this one? 1 to 2 on FS2, 2 to 3 in FS1, closing it out 3 to 6:30 in FS2. You're on early with us, right?
Yep.
All right. All right. We are done. Frank Miramati is gearing up for yet another big day here in Saratoga. We're sloppy. The turf race, only turf race today, will be the Glens Falls in race number 7. Enjoy Kids Day here in Saratoga.